Right, I'm just going to show you how to turn on your rear fog lights. So I just have my ignition on there. What we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to turn our lights on full. And this is our rear fog light. And you can now see that lit up, just that orange one. The only reason that I'm showing you this is I'm just about to do a video, and I have seen comments where people weren't 100% sure on how to turn that little light on. So it's actually just once you have power, turn your lights on full and you press your rear fog light button. So we'll continue with the video now anyway. Okay, this is my van. It's a Fiat 2.5 TD. It's a 1995 model. A gentleman's been in touch and said that he's struggling with trying to find the wire that's going to the fog light at the back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to remove this panel here to get into the wiring behind. Mine's a left-hand drive. I have two screws that come out. There's just one here and one over there, and then there's like receivers here that are pushed. I think they're pushed up and in, and that's what locks that panel in. So I'm just going to remove this and we'll expose what's in under here, and we'll see if we can help this gentleman. Right, now as you can see, I've just removed the panel, and as you can see, I have one receiver, what I was on about, which is just there. And if we come to the other side, you can just in here, you can just see that one. That's the other receiver where this panel clips onto. But what we're going to do is, yeah, we can see that. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this little cluster here. And what we're going to do then is we're going to check, this is the button to the rear fog light. We're going to check that we have continuity between here and the light at the back. So what we have to do is, believe it or not, you can't get up in under here to access the back of this to push it through. So what I find is I get a tiny little screwdriver, if we can just see that, and we just gently pry that out, and now that is kind of popped out there. We might be able to just wiggle that out. No, we'll have to pry from this side as well. So, but as you can see, like, I'm trying to hold the camera steady. As you can see, now, I think that might be it. Yeah, getting there. What we're going to do is we'll just slide our screwdriver and just gently pop this out. Hold on. I'm trying to not damage the plastic. Now, it's just a matter, like, really, if you had a fine kitchen knife or something, it'd be way easier to pop that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the wires at the back of this unit here, but they can be an absolute nuisance. Now, I've already loosened these off because it was an absolute nuisance trying to get this block away from the button, the receiving end of it, the male end of it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you exactly what I mean when I'm on about continuity. What I'm going to do is, we have no power in the van, so what we're going to do is we're going to stick, that is actually only TV aerial cable. The reason I use this, it just sits into these nicely, and I've plenty of it to reach the back. So we're going to go to the back of the van and I'm going to show you what I mean by continuity. So let's go back there. Right, when I say we're checking for continuity, what we're trying to check for is that we don't have a break in our cable between our fog light and the unit which we just exposed. This is my multimeter, and if you can just see this little symbol here, I'm going to switch the multimeter to that little symbol, and that is the little symbol for continuity. And if I touch the two prongs together, you should hear this beep. There's my prongs, and you should hear a beep. That's telling me that there's not a break between them two wires. So now I'm just going to get my daughter to hold the camera right there. So can you just go back a fraction? Can you see that? Right. This is the cable that we have coming out of the back of the block with the wiring in. So what we want to do is we're going to just make any sort of a connection here, and we're going to push this in, and if there's no break in that wire, we'll hear it beeping. One sec. Now that's showing us that there's no break in the continuity. But now what I'm going to do, and I'll show you, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think, can you see that? We're going to, now if you had a damaged line, you have no continuity. So you know then you've a break in the wire. Once you can manage to find a wire which is the continuity going to the block, you will then know that there is no damage there, and that the circuit, literally, I am making a complete round circle, and that's why we're getting continuity. That's why our little machine is beeping to show us that we have continuity. Right, now this was the little block that we were checking for continuity to the fog light at the rear. And if you, I don't know whether you can see, but we've 1, 2, 3 ports there, and we have one here on the bottom. The 4 of these, I have it like this, so as you can see, that's the top, and we have our 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 ports are showing continuity to the fog light. So now I'm assuming that the power must come in through this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that one aside, and what we're going to do next is we're going to check the our fog light switch again with by using the continuity test. So what we're going to do, I've already checked which one it is. So we're going to jam that there, if we can. And we're going to stick our red terminal here. And as you can see, we've no continuity. We've no continuity. So what we're going to do is we're going to push our button in. And you can hear that little machine over there now beeping, and it's showing continuity. I think that's slipped. But anyway, you can see that's how continuity is, and that's how we can check this our fog light button. Now, as I said, this has been made for a gentleman who's struggling. It might help him determine if he's a break in a wire between this black unit here and the fog light at the rear. It might also help him diagnose if the problem is with the switch itself. And hopefully, if it does, I'll be delighted. But if it doesn't help him, he will get back in touch with me via Messenger, I think, and we'll take it from there and see if we can investigate further for him and hopefully solve his problem. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful for anyone who's struggling maybe with the problems what this gentleman is having. So I'll hear it. So these are the only two groups that I put my videos up on, and the reason being, everybody on these two groups, from what I can see, they're there to help each other. Nobody knows everything. Believe me, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an auto electrician. I just do my best to try and help people. And as I said, the people on here, they're both willing to take help and not frightened to ask for help. And when I say they're not frightened to ask for help, remember, no matter how silly a question you think you have, ask now rather than when you're sitting at the side of a road broken down and wishing that you had asked the question which you considered silly. There are no silly questions. These groups, the reason I'm in them is that they're here to help and offer assistance to all their members. So anyway, if this video just helps one or two of you out, maybe, I'll be happy. So good luck, and that's the end of the video.